Good morning, YouTube. My name is Will. Enzo and Lotus are a little hyped up. Okay, maybe they're a lot hyped up. Slept in this morning. I don't normally do that. All right, so I'm gonna watch the Focus this morning. It's a freaking mess, as you can see. Easy now. It is so nice, in fact, that I get to do something that I haven't gotten to do in a while. And that is actually leave the garage door open. Evo is still all nice and clean from the other day. Wifey and I did drive it to like a lunch with some family yesterday, so that was kind of fun and nice. The purpose of this video is to actually ask you guys for a favor. So I know sometimes a lot of times I say like or subscribe. There's been one instance where I really asked you guys for something, and that was to donate to the wife's classroom. I wanted to first formally thank those of you. There were 2 of you that actually did donate and help her get to the goal. She was super excited. She didn't even know what to say. The fact that people, sorry, my battery died. She was just completely, she didn't know what to say. The fact that people from the YouTube channel were donating to her classroom who didn't know her for anything and everything. So that means, guys, can we play quietly? So a lot of times I don't even notice this going on. I know some people comment in videos like, hey, the dogs or this. My thought process is the people who care enough to watch specifically this video where I'm asking for help, and the people who cared enough to donate to the wife's classroom, people who truly care, they like the dogs, they don't care. They're like me, it's just whatever. They're in the background. So as I was saying before, I've gotten interrupted multiple times. She was completely just floored by that, as was I. I've been wanting to make a thank you for that. I wanted to wait until they showed up to her classroom until she could get like some footage of it so I could insert it in the video. Because it does go through like official channels and everything. It's not like she just gets the money. She never sees that money. It goes straight to Amazon where they purchase the products, and then the products get shipped straight to her school in her name. But she did get everything. The first week of school was last week, so everything's up and running now. She gave me a little bit of footage, so I'm gonna insert that.
All right, wireless keyboards and mice are here. Oh man. Fancy smancy.
So that way you guys can kind of see where that money actually went. And again, super, wow. Thought he was gonna hit me. Enzo is fast, but Lotus he's next level. But Enzo's not done.
Let me just jog, take a shortcut.
Sit. Wow, you're wet and green because we cut the grass last night. Now, on to the second thing I want to ask you guys. As I've mentioned in many videos, I'm not big on working on my car. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, I have nothing against people who like to work on their car. There's plenty of things I like to do, and I do like working on cars. It's just, there's only so many hours in a day. There's so many things I like to do, and that just isn't like a super high one that I enjoy. So it constantly gets pushed down and down and down, and that's why when I need to do simple things to my own car, it takes me forever to get to because there's just so many other things I want to do. That said, if you've been following along, you know that I've had a little brake issue. So this is where your guys' help comes in, because I know a lot of you like working on cars, and one of the biggest issues I have with working on cars is not so much the actual work, it's the diagnosis. It's trying to figure out what's wrong, because there's always more than one thing it could be. And I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on this so I can know where to start next. So, and my memory could be slightly off, but I'm pretty sure the sequence of events was as followed. I bought the Evo 8 and had been driving it for a while and had some brake squeal. Figured I needed some new pads. Not a bad thing to do on a used car that you don't know the complete history of. So I bought some Hawk HPS pads and put on there. Brake squeal didn't go away completely because Hawk pads, if you are familiar, they tend to squeal a little bit, but the issue went away. This happened shortly after. I hadn't owned the car that long, maybe a few weeks or whatever, when I did this. Sometime thereafter, I started getting a slight vibration, and when I say slight, like, it would come on real slow to the point that you wouldn't notice it. It was kind of like boiling a frog syndrome. Like, you wouldn't notice it until it was like violent one day. Not violent, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna wreck. But like, I wouldn't pay any attention to it, but like the wife would get in and be like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with your car? And I'd be like, what? Like, oh yeah, the steering wheel was vibrating a little. And she's like, no, it's vibrating a lot. But because it happened so slowly, like I didn't even really notice it. So I was like, okay, well that's weird. Maybe there's something wrong with the rotors. Again, I hadn't had the car that long yet. I think I figured that even though I didn't install the brake pads, I was like, well, maybe they didn't bed them correctly, or you know, whatever. I think the brake rotors had been resurfaced when I did the brake pads, so they should have been fine, but you know, maybe something went wrong. I don't know. I had an old set of Evo 9 rotors. I was like, you know what? I'll just get these cleaned up and put on, because they didn't have that many miles on them. They were good rotors. They were Brembo slotted rotors. Actually, I still have the rear ones on the car, if you've ever noticed. I'll put these on. I'll get them cleaned up. I'll just put these on. That way I don't have to take the car back in and everything and be without the car for several days and then just rebed it and move on with life. Did that? Perfect. Problem gone. After a couple months, it slowly came back, and it's real slow. It's real, like you don't even notice it, and then one day it's like, oh my gosh, like my steering wheel is shaking. So I was like, okay, well, maybe something is wrong with these rotors. You know, I thought they were fine, but maybe they weren't. I still had the rotors that came with the Evo, so I had those resurfaced, put those on. Again, the issue was gone. I was like, okay, great. Once again, it came back though. After a couple months, it just slowly came back. So then I was like, it's got to be something else. I thought it was maybe something wrong with the brake calipers or something. I didn't know. I ended up having the rotors resurfaced again, had everything bedded in again, and it was fine again. And then once again, slowly it came back. This went on for a while, and basically I was just like, whatever, you know, the steering wheel shake would get to a point, but it wouldn't go any worse. It's generally only under high speed slow braking. So what I mean is if you're driving slow, you can brake hard or slow, nothing. If you're driving fast and you brake hard, nothing. If you're like coming off a highway on ramp, and so you know you're going fast, you need to come to a full stop, but you're doing it slowly, so you're just lightly touching the brakes, that's when you would feel it the worst. Then, as some of you know, my Evo went down. It was down for a couple years, so whatever. Came back. Issues obviously still there, but in the process of getting new wheels and tires, they noticed the suspension issue. They fixed that, so I was like, well, that could have been what was causing the problem. Maybe that issue has been there like the whole time or something. I don't know. Let's go out and buy brand new rotors. Brand new rotors, put those on, and the issue was gone, but it started to come back really quick. So I was like, well, that's kind of weird. Now, the one thing I didn't do is I didn't like properly bed in the rotors, I don't think. You know, I did like a short drive that night that I installed them, and then like the next day I did some hard braking and such. So I guess there's a possibility I didn't bed the rotors in completely perfect, but I had never done that in the past when I swapped rotors, and I didn't have that issue come back that quickly. So then I bought some cheap brake pads. Went out, I mean, this was a couple days after the rotors. You know, I parked the car, wasn't really driving it at all. Got the new brake pads in, went out, did a proper bedding of the rotors, the pads, all that good stuff. It seemed fine, but then the issue immediately came back. So this is completely different than what it was in the past. In the past, it always came back really slowly. Now it's just immediately comes back. So I don't know. You know, Google tells me that there's 3 main issues: rotors, pads, or suspension that would cause like a issue while braking. But I don't know at this point, and the fact that it would go away and then slowly come back indicated more like a rotor or pad issue. But now that it's coming back quickly, I don't know what that means. Maybe I didn't bed it in properly, and that's why it's coming back so quickly this time. Maybe if I take the rotors off, I guess I would have to have them resurfaced already and then maybe rebed it in. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that. I don't really want to resurface brand new rotors, but if I have to, that's what I'll do. So I'm just kind of like I don't know what to do next. Part of me just wants to drop it off at a shop and be like, figure it out. But then like they're gonna call me back and be like, yeah, we resurfaced your rotors and it's fine now. And it's like, okay, I could have done that for $20. Instead I spent $120 to have you guys tell me that. But it may be something else. I don't know. So comment below, please. Give me your thoughts. Let me know where I should go next on this. Because I don't know. It's just kind of annoying now at this point. That's all it's going to be for this video. If you guys have any suggestions, definitely comment below or DM me on Instagram. As always, if you have questions about buying an Evo or things like that, you can always DM me as well. And that'll do it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.